من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We give thanks to Almighty Allah, the beginning of everything and the one who is at the end of everything. Viewers at home, we greet you by saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are grateful to Almighty Allah for sparing our life to witness another auspicious month of the month of Ramadan. This is NASFAT Half Hour, sponsored by the National Headquarters of the Faith Setting Organization of Nigeria, NASFAT. Of course, we are in the month of Ramadan, and it is important for us to open up our discussion this year with a discussion on the significance of the month of Ramadan. Ramadan fasting, I'm sure you know, commenced yesterday, and for that reason, I brought into the studio here the Deputy Chief Missioner of NASFAT, our father, our brother, Fadilat Sheikh Abdulaziz Maruf Onike, who will be discussing with us and teaching us the significance of fasting in the month of Ramadan. You are most welcome, sir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Kareem.
Well, Allahu Akbar. Yes, Ramadan fasting. Someone mentioned that Ramadan fasting is not atonement for any sin committed by Muslims. Someone also mentioned the fact it is not hunger strike. What is Ramadan fasting from the point of view of the Quran?
First and foremost, anybody who calls himself a Muslim, what Allah says do, we don't do reason for doing it. They go into intellectual exercise by saying, what would be the reason for Allah to ask us to go and do this? If Allah says do, we have to abide by that rule. The activities of Muslims is divided into 5. According to Common Sharia, something that is compulsory, something that is recommended, something that is merely permissible, something that is reprehensible, and something that is haram. One of the activities of Muslims that is wajib is Ramadan, because it is stated in the Quran chapter 2 verse 1 is stated that we are going to be listening to, we are going to be hearing a lot of our scholars quoting where Allah says Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Ya alladhina amanu kutiba alaykum as-siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. It says Ya alladhina amanu, O ye who believe in Allah, kutiba alaykum as-siyam, fasting has been ordained for you. So that command, that tone, it has been ordained for you. No Muslims will have any reason to question what's that fast, because it has been ordained by Allah. Allah says we should do it. Kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum. Allah is now saying that we are not the only one that goes through the fasting. People who are before you, they fasted. Moses fasted. People of Israel, Jesus fasted. A lot of prophets in the past, they fasted. La'allakum tattaqun. Why am I asking you to fast? It's for you to have fear of Allah, which means that fasting is not an hunger strike. Fasting comes with a lot of benefits, which are going to relate in the course of the program. A lot of benefits comes with it. But first and foremost, Allah says fast. As a Muslim, we don't query him. Aslim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. He says submit, submit for the Lord of creation, for the creation of heaven and earth, for the Lord of the world. That is the person who is called a Muslim. If Allah says do, we do without questioning it. Later, human being what we have, maybe are doing reasons, maybe doing intellectual exercise. What could be the benefit? Once Allah says, Kutiba alaykum siyam, fasting has been ordained for you. What it says ordained, what ordained, made mandatory, made compulsory, made wajib, made valid for you. Kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum, as has been made compulsory for those before you. La'allakum tattaqun. What is the essence of fasting? For you to have the piety, for you to have the fear of Allah, for you to know that Allah is the one that deserves your fear and your piety.
Yes. While you started and you were talking about the fact that fasting is when it is a commandment, and when Muslims accede to that commandment, they are showing total obedience to Almighty Allah. And of course, in the verse that you have just quoted, the objective of fasting is also stated clearly, is to teach self-restraint, is for the purpose of God consciousness. Yes, and when we look at it now, of course, The first thing that we are talking is about Ramadan. What makes Ramadan so unique? Why not fast in other months of the Islamic lunar year? Why Ramadan?
Alhamdulillah, Islam is a religion of principle. Islam is built on five principles. Believe in Allah and His Prophet, fasting in the month of Ramadan, observation of Salah, giving of Zakat, and lunar Hajj. Fasting, specifically fasting in the month of Ramadan. When I was talking about the Hukum Sharia, the things that Muslims do that are divided into five, there are things that are compulsory. Part of the compulsory thing is this Ramadan fasting. There are some that are recommended. You can fast any other month, but it is not Ramadan. If it is not Ramadan, it is not the same thing as Ramadan.
I like that.
This one is stated in the Quran. If you don't do it, you have penalty. The one that is recommended, man do. You fast on Monday, you fast on Thursday, you fast Aban, you fast Rajab, you pick 13% things to fast. Those ones are recommended. They are good when you do them. But when you don't do them, there's no penalty. In the case of Ramadan, you get reward when you do it, and if you don't do it, you get penalty. That makes it different.
That's what makes Ramadan different. And you have heard from our teacher here, if it is not Ramadan, it can never be Ramadan. Of course, you can fast in other months and other supererogatory fasting. That today we will not be discussing that. Now that we know the objective of fasting, which is to teach self-restraint for God consciousness, but there are other benefits that are embedded in this particular phrase of la'alakum tattaqun. There are social benefits of Ramadan. There are spiritual benefits. Let us start from the spiritual angle, because Ramadan essentially is a spiritual exercise. What are the spiritual benefits of fasting in the month of Ramadan?
You can now start this surgery for it and look at it from so many angles. To be pious. What does Allah want to gain that we are not eating from morning to evening? Number one, the benefit of feeling hunger. When you feel hunger, and that can come under social benefit of Ramadan. When you feel hunger, if you see anybody who's feeling hungry in your environment, you will know how it feels for somebody to go hungry. Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said on the day of judgment, so Allah will say, "Oh my servant, I was hungry, you refused to feed me. I was sick, you refused to visit me." People now say, how can you be hungry and you refuse to feed you? You, the Almighty, said, "My servant was hungry, and he came to you begging for food, you refuse to feed you." That means you are denied food. When you go through fasting, when somebody is feeling hungry, because you have felt the pangs of hunger before. Somebody told me a story. They said that there was a particular man, every time after eating, he has a particular prayer that he normally says. He says, "May Allah feed all those who are hungry now." He keeps saying that. Somebody now asked him, "Why do you say this?" He said, "I've experienced hunger in my life." Each time he finishes it, he will say, "May Allah give food to the hungry ones." He keeps it on the out of inquisition. Why are you saying this? Regularly say, he said, "I've experienced hunger in my life." Not for lack of funds. It could be inaccessibility to where you have your money. Somebody in detention, somebody traveling, you are on a journey, and you find yourself in a situation where you cannot eat. Even you can get food there that they are not the food that you are used to in the environment. You are going to feel hunger. If you now see somebody feeling hungry, you will feel for the person, and even before you beg for food, you will gladly give something of the social benefits of Ramadan. Another benefit of it is that the brotherhood that we enjoy during Ramadan.
Okay.
I pray that those who are watching me and those who are not watching me, the entire Muslim woman, to Allah will give the opportunity of experiencing Ramadan in Saudi Arabia, the kind of brotherhood, the kind of camaraderie, the kind of companionship that is exhibited during Ramadan. When you go to mosque of Prophet Muhammad in Medina, the Muslim families in Medina, all of them will form a circle and they will send their children out to come and beg you to come and speak with them. And they will see children running after you, come and break your fast with us, free of charge. Okay? And you see that only during Ramadan, everybody wants to do sadaqah as much as you can, because the sadaqah, if you do any voluntary act, then you are going to get the reward of a compulsory act. And if you do any compulsory act, you are going to get 70 rewards. Okay.
These are special blessings. We wish Nigeria will also be, will be so good to the extent that in Ramadan, people will open their doors so that others will also come in to break their fasting. That's the prayer. And of course, for those who are joining us, once again, this is NASFAT Half Hour, sponsored by National Headquarters of NASFAT. And it's important for us to also mention the fact that on the first Saturday of Ramadan, precisely on the 28th of Ramadan of June, precisely, we will be hosting a public lecture that Professor Afif Oladosu will also be there discussing issues relating to the current political dispensation in Nigeria, the Islamic perspective. So we're inviting Muslims, non-Muslim, all people from all walks of life to come around to the Lagos State Secretariat Mosque Extension, where the lecture of Professor Afif Oladosu will be delivered, powered by NASFAT headquarters. Of course, we also need to mention the fact that NASFAT has a new baby. It is called NASFAT Agency for Zakat and Sadaqah. And that day also, that agency will be doing the second disbursement of Zakat proceeds for the beneficiaries for this year. So it's going to be a double event on Saturday, 28th of June, and that will be the third Ramadan, 1436 AH. Everybody should endeavor to attend. Let me go back to our start in-house here. Now that we now know that Ramadan is to teach us to show compassion for others, for particularly the poor, since we have also felt the pangs of hunger by fasting. There is also in Ramadan, we discovered that people towards the end of Ramadan, some people go out of the country, they go as far as Saudi Arabia. Some people even stay in here, do confinement in the mosque. What is the principle behind this, and what is it meant to achieve?
The last 10 days of Ramadan, as embedded in it, is special night, popularly referred to as the Qadr. If Allah gives someone the opportunity of witnessing that of the Qadr, your sins will be forgiven, your prayers will be answered. A lot of people now copy what the Prophet used to do. They go on seclusion. We technically call itikaf. Itikaf could be done in Nigeria, it could be done in Saudi Arabia. So what the last day of Ramadan, they will be secluded in the mosque. They will be doing their fasting in the mosque, they will be eating their shawl, and they will be breaking the fast, doing azkar, doing tilawat of the Quran, and God willing, they are going to encounter that the Quran, which Allah says, Khayrun min alif shari. Khayrun min alif shari. That particular night is better, it's more worthwhile than 1,000 months. That's about 87 years. If somebody can endeavor to stay in seclusion the last 10 days of Ramadan in a mosque and do tilawah to the Quran, do a lot of azkar, and Allah in His infinite mercy may make him to witness the last Qadr and will enjoy the benefits of studying the last Qadr. People travel to Saudi Arabia, people go to seclusion, but then to witness the last Qadr, that night of majesty. And now that are dedicated the night for it. We are not saying that night is a particular night. We are not saying those who cannot stay for 10 days in seclusion, let them come to our land when I say people by the expressway. The last cycle of Ramadan, we are going to have like kind of people, a lot of people to go and pray to Allah and to come and do azkar.
Yeah. We now know that the last 10 days of Ramadan, just like every other day, the first 20 days is quite important. But the last 10 days are much more important because it needs to have a night that is more worthy than 1,000 months. And if by what you now have, one of the things we need to thank Almighty Allah, particularly for this year's Ramadan, is the kind of uniformity that we have seen all over the world. I have not heard of Muslims who started fasting on Friday or Wednesday. It's on record that this year, virtually all throughout the world, Muslims started, we are all commencing fasting on the same day, and that is quite commendable. We hope our authorities will keep this up, and every Muslim organization will key into this kind of uniformity so that we can replicate it in subsequent years.
And as part of my contribution to that, let's do a casting on me that is discussing the unity among God. Why are we looking at the moon to start it? That's what Allah says to look at for to commence Ramadan and has his own reason for doing that. Then why that's the only set of good that we have confusion. Why should we be looking at the moon? Why can't we fix a particular day? Allah will highly unjust if He has given us a fixed day to be starting Ramadan. It means some people will be fasting during summer throughout their lifetime. Some people will be fasting during winter throughout their lifetime. Some people will be fasting during Ramadan throughout their lifetime. Allah says, and He said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, He said, "Sumu liruyati, waqiru liruyati." Commence fasting when you have seen the money, and you end fasting when you are because people are hiding under they are disunited. That's why they don't have a particular what can they fix it? Allah says, use the particular method to do it. And alhamdulillah, this year we started on the same day all over the world, and it's one of the things that Allah best put it over with. We thank Allah for that.
Well, the wisdom for, using the lunar calendar to determine when to start and to break fasting has just been properly elucidated by our in-house Imam here. Of course, it is the month of the Quran, the month of forgiveness, the month of mercy, the month in which you have the night of majesty, Laylatul Qadr. We want to urge Muslims that never to in any way trivialize even a second of this month. A second count in this month. We should use it for the purpose of spirituality, reading the Quran, listening to the reading of the Quran, and even reacting to the Quran ourselves. And like our Imam has said, for those of us who are empowered financially, we could move out, we could go out in the last 10 days of Ramadan to perform our Umrah so that we can have the benefit of witnessing Laylatul Qadr while in the Holy Land. And for those of us who will be in, we can also do seclusion in the mosque, in our neighborhood mosque.
For practice, if you do any voluntary act during this month of Ramadan, Allah will record it for you as if you have done an obligatory act.
Okay.
And if you do an obligatory act, you are going to get 70 rewards.
70 rewards. Maybe we should even key on that. For those of our viewers at home, particularly those who have been blessed by Almighty Allah, and you have not paid your zakat. Zakat is a compulsory aspect of Islam. If you don't do it, it's like you have not prayed. It's like you have not fasted. So, and this is the opportunity in the month as auspicious of Ramadan. If you want to pay your zakat, please contact NASFAT. NASFAT agency for zakat and sadaqah. There's an assurance that zakat fund will be judiciously spent on those 8 categories of people whom the Quran mentions should benefit from zakat.
Where is NASFAT located?
Well, NASFAT is an agency located in the CMD Road. Of course, we are going to dedicate a special program for NASFAT subsequently. In fact, even later to call you also, we are coming back to discuss this extensively. But it is important for us to mention to our viewers, Ramadan is quite important. Do not let us trivialize it. It is meant for us to be able to get closer to Allah, so that we can use Ramadan as a measure of reconciling ourselves with our Creator. Don't forget, our Imam just told us, Ramadan is a heavenly prescription to solve all maladies. Even there are medical benefits of Ramadan.
Because of for want of time. So a lot of benefits are embedded in it. But that will get Allah. You now say, these are the benefits embedded. You will have, why don't you ask us to be fasting throughout our lifetime? The 8 benefits, your system, internal system, will now rest for some time. So they are going to be eating morning, afternoon, and night. Your system, your digestive system will rest for some time. You are going to be healthier than before. You realize that most of the sicknesses that we encounter before Ramadan, by the time you are fasting, you feel light, you feel healthy, and you feel well. Social benefits, we have mentioned it. Brother that you have in Ramadan, people will just be acting the chance together. You don't know each other from Adam, and you know the way. I'm a rich man. I don't want to believe with this person. Then the benefit of getting multiple rewards for whatever sadaqah you have given. A lot of people will delay their sadaqah, will delay their zakat until
the month of Ramadan.
Somebody wanted to donate money to some amount to us about 2 years ago. We are not saying, okay, Elijah, come and give us the donation that we come. He said, no, let me wait till Ramadan. May Allah spare my life till Ramadan. I know that if I give it to you during Ramadan, it's going to be many food. As I said, a compulsory act during Ramadan, we get 70 reward. And what is called reward? The reward means rank. Getting close to Allah. So reward may be equal to you freeing 10 slaves, freeing 20 slaves, freeing 10 debtors. When Allah says, I give you a reward, you should all jump at it. May Allah make the Ramadan, this Ramadan easy for us. Give us the help, give us the way with that to go through it happily.
Viewers at home, we thank you for being with us on this program. I want to thank our Ustaz, the Deputy Chief Missioner of NASFAT, Fadilat Sheikh Abdulaziz Maruf Onike, for this exposition on the significance of Ramadan. Tomorrow when we meet at the same time, we shall be looking at the permissibles and non-permissibles in Ramadan. Don't forget, this program is sponsored by NASFAT National Headquarters, and on Saturday, 28th of June, 3rd of Ramadan, I shall be waiting to receive you at Alausa, the Lagos State Secretariat Extension, where Professor Abdulaziz Oladozu from the University of Ibadan will be presenting this year's Ramadan lecture of NASFAT. May Allah spare us to see us throughout the Ramadan and not deny us the benefit of fasting therein. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Kareem.